Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bull Central. You know, I'm doing a mental health video today. I like to do these about once or twice a week. And today I wanted to talk about creativity again. It's been a while since I talked about mental health and creativity and the fact that uh, a lot of people who suffer from mental health issues are also kind of creative type people. And sometimes that's a bit of a liability with this sort of thing because, oh, for various reasons. Let's say you have a hard time finishing projects that you start, or let's say that it gets away from you sometimes and it kind of turns you manic. I can relate to both of those things, by the way, but I also know that creativity in my case is basically essential to feeling more like myself. It's essential to who I am. If I don't exercise my creativity, I'm not. I just don't feel right. I feel pent up. I feel cranky. I feel, you know what I'm saying. So, basically, a couple videos ago, a couple mental health videos ago, I talked about the idea of 5 things that you can do right now to feel better, and one of them was to kind of shelter yourself and do stuff. And the last mental health video I did too was called about cocooning, sheltering yourself, and kind of doing those things that kind of make you happy. Basically, that's what it is. And I recognized in those 2 videos that you can't really do that all the time. You can't really take all the time in the world to just kind of cloister yourself and me. I must do the things that make me happy and forget everybody else. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you can, in those moments where you have time to yourself. Like, some people draw a warm bath. Some people put on a favorite movie. That's one of the things I do. Some people are creative. And so that's creativity is a really great outlet to have. And creativity is a funny thing because in this culture we don't assign it. There's two ways of looking at it. There's creativity for the sake of just healing, which is mostly what I'm talking about here. And then there's the creativity for the sake of having marketable products to sell at the end of it. Like, say you're an artist, or say you're a musician, like I'm a musician, or say you're a writer, like I'm a writer. I do both things. I make my art, I make my music, I make my writing for the sake of making myself feel better. That's the main thing. That's for me. Just because I have schizoaffective disorder, my mind is chaotic a lot of the time, unsettled, upset. Like I said, cranky. I get kind of cranky sometimes. Sometimes it's a matter of delusional thinking, things like that. They get in the way of feeling better, right? I mean, it's just kind of common sense that they would. And so on that level, for instance, I'm recording new music. That I haven't done this in about a year. I'm recording new music in a studio environment, which literally just means my house. It's not anything special, but I'm doing that first because, gosh, I just feel so much better when I'm doing it. Like, I feel myself. I feel centered. I feel happy, and it can't last forever because it's just the thing that you're doing when you're being creative. But it's a thing that kind of resonates for a while for me. Like, the whole period that I'm making this music, or if I'm heads down on a writing project, that's the primary driver for me, is to feel more like myself, because so often I don't anymore. I just don't. But I'm also somewhat product oriented. And the thing with that is not to make money necessarily, because I don't make much money at it, if any at all. To level with you, my music and my writing combined net me like $20 a month. That's what I get for making all this stuff, and I'm totally fine with that. Really. To me, it's not about the money. It's about the expression, and it's about sharing. And I know that probably sounds weird to people, or disingenuous or ass backwards. It's not to me. To me, the thing is to make the thing and to share the thing, even when I get criticism for the thing. Now, I've got this YouTube channel, and I've got other public platforms that I use on the internet. For instance, my music is on Spotify and streaming. My books are available on Amazon. I have social media, that kind of stuff. And the thing with the internet is that it's never short of people willing to tell you what they think. Okay? And that's one of the beauties of the internet. All of our opinions got equal footing. It's one of the drawbacks of the internet because not everybody uses, in my opinion, this is my opinion, not everybody uses their opinion in a constructive, helpful, non-mean way. I get both. I get praise from people, which is wonderful. Thank you for that. I get criticism, constructive criticism from people, which is wonderful. Thank you for that. I don't mind constructive criticism at all. And then I get just meanness too. That's a thing that I get sometimes. It's not super prevalent. Don't think that it is. And I accept that too. It's okay. But the thing is that having all these social internet things that I'm plugged into saps me, saps my energy, and I have to recover that me energy, which is one of the reasons that cocooning is a thing. Like if you see my last mental health video, cocooning is a thing, because I think you find that when you, my wife and I talk about buckets. My wife has, just to kind of give context, my wife has multiple sclerosis and a few other actual physical illnesses. I tend not to have that. I tend to have, like I said, mental illness. But she has what she calls a bucket of energy. I've described this before, but I'll just do it again, where unless she gets something done in the right amount of time, her bucket is full. Or empty rather. No more energy. And at that point, I know, okay, she needs to rest. She needs to recoup. She can't do it anymore. And it's similar to me. Although I see the bucket more as full. Like a true optimist, my bucket is always full. It's full of crap. It's full of other people's stuff. It's full of my stuff. I'm on overload half the time just because the way that I experience the world and the information that my mind feeds me about the world is kind of exhausting sometimes. It's sometimes it's chaotic, like I said. Sometimes it's wrong thinking, which again we call delusional thinking, where I just get people wrong. I get situations wrong, and I start feeling really bad about how it is that I'm understanding people, because they don't have ill intentions, and sometimes I think that they do. That might require more explanation, but that's my point. Basically, that bucket needs to be emptied. And so, like I said, cocooning is a good thing. Watching your favorite movies, taking a warm bath. What else do? I read comic books. I love DC and Marvel comic books. I always have. I read comic books. I watch TV. I play video games, obviously, because this is a gaming channel as well. I play tons of video games, lots of video games. And I have the time to do that in my life, mostly because I just do. But, again, we'll go back to creativity. Creativity is a really good one. It's a really, really strong one, because if you have any creative impulse, and I want you to basically just ignore the product side of it completely. Just ignore the production side of it. I don't know a better word for that. Product makes it sound like it's a skincare regimen or something on TV. The finished thing. If you paint, it's the painting. If you write, it's the story or the book or the essay or the journal entry or whatever it is. The end product. Don't focus on that. Focus on the process. And that's really what will boost your mood. That's really what will see you through some really troubling things, because When we are creative, and I realize not everybody feels the same way about creativity. Some people just don't exercise their creativity. I do believe everybody has some semblance of a creative impulse. Some people have it choked out of them when they're kids, which is really unfortunate. But, you grow up liking music and movies and stuff. You still like the creative process. Let's say you haven't been in touch with your creativity in a really long time, but you like what I'm saying, and you have been depressed lately, or you've been overwhelmed, or whatever it is. Leave alone schizophrenia. Let's just say you've not been feeling quite right. You've not been feeling yourself. Get in touch with your creativity a little bit. Paint something, draw something, write something. If you like to sing, or if you know how to play an instrument, or you just want to put on a good album that you loved a long time ago and listen to it on streaming. Now that we have internet streaming music, you can listen to anything ever made, basically. Get in touch with this side of yourself, because I'm telling you, it's very healing. It's very soothing. And maybe you can get an end product out of it, and maybe you can show it to people, and maybe you can try to make money off of it. But I don't want anybody to think that is the goal. It's not. It isn't the goal. The goal is the process. The goal is the project. The goal is the fun, the connection to this primal drive within us, this energy we have to make, to create from nothing something uniquely us, something uniquely manifested by us into the world. A cool painting, a cool short story, a cool piece of music. I think you know what I'm saying. And so if you are in the position where you want to be more creative and you want to make more stuff, I can't tell you enough. The simplest, best, easiest, most important thing you can do is just get started on it. Just start making. Just start being creative as a way of healing, as a way of building your confidence, as a way of expressing yourself, as a way of feeling a little bit better. Is it a cure-all for everything? No, it really isn't. And if you're suffering in life, that's not going to go away just because you sat down at a piano. But I think you find, I know people with serious mental illness through this channel who express themselves in a way that is uniquely them, in a creative way. And you'd have to ask those people, which, you can't. But if you meet someone like that, you'd have to ask that person, does it really help? Does it really make you feel better? And I think they'd probably say, yeah, somewhat. It really does. It helps a little bit. But, taking in tandem with things like cloistening yourself, cocooning yourself a little bit, and enjoying the things that you enjoy, the things that make you feel whole. It's one of these things where, like, those who can take care of themselves can take care of others. And those who can't take care of themselves, when they take care of others, their output is just not great. Their patience, their ability to actually be there for another. I'm saying to a certain extent, and not completely, don't take me wrong on that, but to a certain extent, you've got to be centered to be there for other people in a way. And let's say you're in a desperate situation at the moment, mentally or physically or just situation wise. Is taking care of people really realistic at that point? Maybe not. So maybe all you have is taking care of yourself just to get through the day. So one of those things is to be creative. Like I said, I'm recording a new album. It's going to be called Audiophile 3. I'm really, really excited for it. I hope you guys check it out on streaming and here on my YouTube channel, Jeff Bull Central, when it's done. Already a few of the songs are on my channel in music video form if you want to check them out. And like I said, I write after I'm done with this. I'm this fall. I'm planning on writing another novel. That'll be my fourth, plus a few short story collections that I have out there. To me, the product is important because I want to share it. When I was little and I was learning to be creative, I found that it was just way more fun to make a thing and show a thing. Even when people didn't like it, for some reason it was more fulfilling than just making it and keeping it to myself. But I don't want you to focus on that if this is a moment of healing for you. Focus on expression. Focus on really digging into your heart and embellishing what's in there, even if it's dark, even if it's frightened or angry. This is a safer way to get those emotions out than just piling onto people or piling onto yourself. That's what I would urge you to do. Try to be a little creative if you can. Try to, like I said, try to embellish those things that are inside of you. Try to get them out on the page, in the song, on the canvas. You know what I mean? So that's what I got to say this week. Creativity's good. You can go a little overboard. I want to talk briefly about that, the downside, because it can become a manic thing. It does for me, where I overdo it, so I'm trying to pace myself this time. I record a song in a couple days, and then I wait a couple days, and then I record a song, and I'm trying to pace myself. That's making me feel a bit better, because the last time I did this, I went overboard. Also documented on this channel a little bit. So it becomes a thing where it's like, it feels great, and it is great, but you also have to watch how you're reacting to what it is that you're doing. If it becomes a manic thing, if it becomes a depressing thing, if it becomes a sad thing, if it's putting you in a bad place, then probably it's okay to avoid for now creativity. But I think for most of us, it's safe to sit down at a table and just paint something, or digital art. I've gotten into making digital art on the phone and just like creating, visual representations of whatever it is, an album cover, but I want it to look a certain way. That's the same thing. It's using that non-linear thinking, that non-logical part of the brain, that full emotive force to express, because that stuff just doesn't get out as much as up here does. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. That's my talk for the week on mental health. Do us a favor and like the video and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell and do all that stuff. Come back here in another week or two for another mental health video. In the meantime, we've got music and video games for you. Jeff Bowles Central, everybody. Thanks for listening, and I hope you're feeling well out there. I hope you're doing well, and catch you on the flip side. Is that something people say anymore? See you next time. There we go. Bye-bye.
School when I was 9, told me she had feelings, she had lied. Can you hear me?